Blog Talk Radio.
Contra Radio Network, Preparedness Radio, with your host, John Jeffers.
And good evening, I'm John Jeffers here at the Contra Radio Network on a Wednesday night here in Lake County in the tyranny state of Illinois. We are experiencing massive flooding. As a matter of fact, just before I went on the air, I was talking to a friend of mine, Stickles Tess. Apparently, the National Guard up in Wisconsin, Burlington, Wisconsin, has been activated to help with evacuations there. It's not mandatory. It is, however, being recommended. About an hour ago in Leisure Village, in the village of Fox Lake, which is a small, it's like a gated community. They got a bunch of studio apartments, one-bedroom apartments there. A retaining wall has collapsed, so that's a mess there. Across the street from me is a channel. We, of course, got people that live across the street from me, and behind their property runs a channel. All day I've been watching the water rise and rise and rise. I can see a friend of mine, his house, the water is up to his house already, and the water is not expected to, in fact, the flood's not expected to crest until Sunday or Monday. It's a long time. Meanwhile, Lake County Board has declared a state of emergency, and they're having Army Corps of Engineers supplies in Wheaton, sandbags. They're dipping into that supply. Me, the wife and I got a call 2 days ago. Yesterday. And she works part-time at a local bar right there on the chain. And they said, we need help, get our product, we got to get the product out. It's flooding. So we ran over there, helped them out. And then on Facebook, some of our friends texted that their pier is floating away because they live on the east shore of Long Lake. 2 doors down, get this, I didn't know this. 2 doors down is an access road. You go down this access road towards the lake, and sure enough, there it is the storm runoff for all of Rollins Road in Round Lake Beach, and it is roaring, just filling up. The water's gushing out there like I've never seen it before. It's coming out so fast that the water is actually swirling around the exit and flowing back into the water that's being pushed out. As I look across the street to the channel, the water is flowing fast, and when it starts to slow down, that's because the chain has filled up. There's nowhere else for the water to go. Plus, all the storms that southeast Wisconsin had 2 or 3 days prior to us getting drenched, which, by the way, for those that are keeping track, according to Tom Skilling, 1.6 trillion gallons of water fell from the skies. And it was truly amazing. It was kind of like, I got an idea what Noah must have seen. It just was unbelievable. The lightning show, the best I've ever seen. Just kept going and going and going and going. It kept coming down and down and down. It's like, oh my Lord. So you got 1.6 trillion gallons of water falling in like a 4-hour period. Of course, it's not going to be able, there's no storms water system on the planet that can take that kind of water and drain it. It just doesn't exist. So, meanwhile, all the rain they had like 2 or 3 days prior in southeast Wisconsin is flowing this way towards Lake County. Guess what? The lakes and the river, the Fox River, can only take so much water at a time. So, plus south of us, they got hit, so they're catching last night. So they're going to deal with their own issues. Now I know tonight we had spoken about what we were going to do tonight, and we're going to do it. But I wanted to give you all an update. Also, a quick update for our friend Porky Will in Northern Ireland. His daughter has suffered a massive seizure, so he is not going to be participating tonight. Thoughts and prayers are with him. He managed to get a hold of me just for a few minutes. I told, hey, I just told him to go. Good night. Prayers and thoughts are with you. And I wanted to share that with you because Porky Will is a friend of this show. And, I don't like it when friends of this show and when their family members get caught into crisis situations, not of their making. Regardless, anyways. I want to say hi to Stickles Test. I think he's watching tonight. He's living up north of the Cheddar Curtain, also known as Wisconsin, which is a much better state than Illinois ever thought about being. But that's another issue. I think, what else have we heard? Grays Lake, Illinois, they also had a apartment building that had to be evacuated. So it's just a mess here. And they have declared a disaster area, like I said, so that went up to Governor Rauner, who activated FEMA, and so they'll put the request in. It's going to take a very long time to get this cleaned up. Terry in Missouri, he went through this a couple months ago, so he knows exactly what's going on, what's happening, what we're talking about. Luckily, I've only had some minor seepage in the basement. Nothing big. Nothing that can't be handled. However, when you go to flush your toilet, it may or it may not. But that hasn't backed up yet, praise God. That's the one issue I don't want to deal with. But on the other hand, we went over to my friend's house over there on the East Shore Long Lake, helped them recover all their property. So today I've been kind of took out the dog, went for a walk, checked out some of the areas that you could get through now with some of the vehicles. Some places in Round Lake Beach you cannot get through. It's the next town east of me. But if you got a four-wheel drive vehicle, a man vehicle, I'm not talking about one of those little crappy SUVs that just doesn't have the power or the height to cross. Don't do it. I, however, have a 3/4 ton pickup with four-wheel drive and went right through it, no problem, no issues. But on the other hand, some people, with their little Honda Civics, had to try it. Way wrong answer. That's okay. Not my problem, not my issues. Not my, what fond of saying, not my circus, not my monkeys. So there you have it. All right, now, tonight, last week, I got some emails from some listeners, and they wanted to talk about this. Go where and get what? That's the title of the show. And the idea was, after a critical incident, shit hits the fan event, you are with your prepper group. You have successfully consolidated your group. You're now in operational mode. And I'm going to need the listeners to partake of this because I can't do this one all. And I'm not doing the chat room tonight either. Need you to call in. Number is 516-453-9389. Again, 516-453-9389. Now, when you call in and I get to your call, I will plug you in live, and I will call you by your area code. And if we have more than one person from the same area code, I will give out the area code and first three numbers, so that way I am talking to you. That's how it works. If you also want to join us on the CRN like page, we got the video feed rocking and rolling right now. It's going out. So let us assume, like I said, you got your prepper group, you're in operational mode, you've successfully consolidated, you've managed to get members in, they managed to get most of their supply catch to the AO or your bug out location or whatever you want to call it, label it, it's your choice. And then the word goes out. We have to start getting supplies, needed supplies that you normally could not get. Hence the title of the show, Go Where? Get What? Because generally speaking, when the prepper leadership, what I like to call the war council, gets together and they realize, what? We don't have enough antibiotics. We don't have enough painkillers. We need slings, arm slings. Those kind of things, those kind of issues pop up. Let's assume you have enough food and water for the time being. You know what I'm saying? So then the word comes down. Stickles, Tess, get your fire team together. We need you to go run on go make a scavenger run. We need these items. So then we ask ourselves the question, where do I go to get what I need to get? Last week we talked about the pharmacies and where they keep their important medications. And I would suggest that these medications, or any medications, especially prescription, you do not use for bartering unless there's absolutely no other choice. No other choice. You got to use it. All right, I get that. But let's assume that you need to go find these items. What other items do you think you would need to grab? And where would you go? Now, let's, for the sake of argument, let's put it this way. Let's break it down. 2 different timelines. Let's do 2 weeks after the incident and say 3 months after the critical event. That way we got some time play in there, because when we're talking about scavenging, acquiring resources, that kind of thing, the timeline is going to present different options at different times. That is, for example, we all figure grocery stores are going to be ransacked. So where could I go to grab some more food? There's an idea. Where could I go to look for secreted medical supplies? And they could be any medical supplies you want. I don't care if they're crutches, ibuprofen, the narcotics for the painkillers, arm slings, braces, splints. If you don't already have that in there, you're going to have to find somewhere to get it. So, what do we do? What do we look? What are our possibilities? What are the options that we have as preppers to go find these items, to acquire them for the good of the group? And this is where you come in. Now, you listeners emailed me, and you want to do this show, so you better be calling in, because I know who you are. And if you don't call in, I'm calling you out on the next episode. To let everybody know. Okay. Anyways, our phone number again is 516-453-9389. 516-453-9389. That's a good thing. All right. Now, let me see what we have. That looks good. I'm sure people are a little freaked out right now about the flooding in the area, so I'm not too worried about it, whether we get people or not. Tell the truth. And we're not going to be, this show's only an hour long. By the way, for those of you that were wondering whether or not going from 2-hour show to a 1-hour show, it's been much better. I got a lot of favorable feedback for the 1-hour show, so we're going to stay with it for a 1 hour. My idea is this. Let's say, for example, you need, like I said, you might not be able to get water there, but you might be able to find food. And I'm thinking a school cafeteria. I'm thinking the nurse's office is going to have some emergency supplies. Not a lot, but some. It'd be worth it. If you're looking for emergency medical supplies, what I suggest is, all right, for you guys that are EMTs, do not take offense to this. But let's be nice try, idiots. Can't stand these people. If I could find a better way to do it, I would. So for you, like I said, you EMTs that don't get crazy, don't get worried about it. But I would suggest looking for an ambulance. They're going to have emergency medical supplies. Maybe not food, but they will have emergency medical supplies. And if possible, steal the whole damn ambulance. Grid down. You do what you got to do. I know. A lot of you just went, huh? I am not recommending for you to commit a crime. It is not a crime when you have the crime of compulsion. And the crime of compulsion means I was forced to do this in order to survive. There you go. Justin in Sacramento, California popped up on the Facebook feed. He says, first thing I'm looking for is a working IED to prevent heart attacks. I think he means AED, automatic external defibrillator. IED is what explodes. Bad, we don't want those. But to prevent heart attacks, you want an AED, automatic external defibrillator. That's okay, buddy, I know what you meant. But you, other ideas, where to look for things. So schools, school cafeteria is going to have canned foods. Or maybe not a lot, but they should. Might be worth looking into. Also, depending on the school, go to the library, look for books, basic books like chemistry books, that kind of thing. You can never acquire enough knowledge, nor will you ever learn everything there is to know. So it's good to have a real book. Good evening, Jim. He joined us. Glad Jim's here. I'm sure Jim's suffering some of the effects that we're having up here in Lake County, but that's all right. In the meantime, again, we're talking about go where, get what. So your war council, your prepper leaders, of your prepper group have said, look, get your fire team together. We need these items. They give you a list of items. We got enough food and water for maybe the next week or so, but we need more. Go find it. Where do you look? Oh, wait, you got medical supplies? Where do I look for those? Where do you go to look for those? Where can you get in and out of easily to find what it is you need? So, that's the show for tonight. Go where, get what. So where would you go to get what? And like I said, we're breaking it down into two different timelines. Let's do 2 weeks after the critical event and 3 months after the critical event, because your list is going to change, as are your options. We all know that grocery stores, not going to happen. Drug stores, not going to happen. They're all going to be empty. That doesn't mean you don't check. You check it anyways. Dollar stores like Dollar General, Family Dollar, check it. There probably won't be anything in there useful, but check. You never know. Am I making sense? Are you following along? Because you people emailed me this. You want to do a show like this, let's do it. Give me a call, 516-453-9389. I am not going to open the chat room for that because I want you guys to call in. I want you guys to start getting used to sharing your ideas. Yes, it's easy to share your ideas in the chat room. I get it. But let's get ourselves trained and used to exploring, brainstorming ideas verbally, because that's what you're going to have to do when there is a critical event and you're forced to consolidate and activate your group. So start practicing it now. Consider this training, if you will, courtesy of Contra Radio Network. Before I forget, for you members that are patreon.com donators and supporters of the show, I sent you emails earlier this week, and there's a gift that I attached with it. So please, if you haven't checked your email, please check it. Those are for the patreon.com donators, monthly supporters of the show. I say thank you, and I wanted to do that for you because you've done so much for me by donating and supporting the show. I wanted to put it out there. If you want to become a monthly financial supporter of the show, patreon.com, Patreon.com. And you will, it's $2. Hey guys, I'm asking for $2 a month. Some people can only afford $1. That's okay, I understand. I'll take $1. I'm all right with that. Most of you that have subscribed are way over that amount, and I appreciate it, and I'm humbled by it. But I wanted to be able to do something for you. That's why. Okay. We got a caller coming in now. Area code 704. Go ahead, sir.
John, it's Tim in North Carolina.
Tim, how you feeling, guy?
I am getting pretty well back to normal.
You sound pretty good. You sound good.
Thank you very much.
You sound like you're all ready. You sound
Hey,
it sounds like you haven't even been.
This is
Go ahead, my friend.
all right. This is an awesome topic. This is something I've been really contemplating a lot in my own head.
Okay, fire away.
My own twisted little mind. Think about this: every school bus has got a first aid kit in it. Granted, that's only going to be antibiotic ointment and Band-Aids.
It's still supplies you could use.
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead. Uh-oh. I hope we didn't lose Tim. Either that or he's juggling. That's okay. Hold on. Area code 530. Go ahead.
Hey, John, I'm Justin.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. I'm getting ready for the move.
Okay. Hold on. Anytime you guys want to go, you guys can go. We got Tim on the line. We got a couple callers. Go ahead, guys. We're talking about go where, get what. So think of this as training, mental training for when the grid goes down. So when the grid goes down, your prepper group leadership says, hey,